All right. So my mother uh, died 16 years ago tomorrow, September 3rd. She died September 3rd, 2009. Now, the last time I spoke with my mother was the day before she died. Actually, the evening before she died, September 2nd, 2009. So the anniversary of that is today. And I remember it because my mom had called me earlier in the day to tell me to, uh, one, if I received a check that she had sent me, and to make sure I deposited the check. And she wanted to make sure that I, did that because that's back in the days of balancing your checkbook. So she didn't want that, that check to be, um, you know, outstanding where she's, looking at her funds. So she had called me around 5 or something that afternoon, and I was helping my son was in kindergarten, and he was at kindergarten in the upper room, and their kindergarten used to just inundate these kids with homework, right? It was like kindergarten, but it was like they're in second grade. So I was helping him do his homework, make sure he got it all done when she called. And when she called, I said, "Well, Mom, I'm helping helping Christopher with his homework." And she said, "Well, I'm not going to hold you." She said, Did you deposit that check?" I said, "Yes, ma'am, I did." She said, "Well, I'm not going to hold you, but call me back when you're done, all right?" And she said, "Make sure," and then before she hung up, she said, "Make sure you call me, right?" Now that was important. I said, "Okay, we'll do." So later on that evening, right, I had gotten the got homework done, and Christopher was in his room. Uh, he wasn't really asleep, but he should have been should have been asleep, but he was in his bed, and I was in the bonus room watching TV, and it was about, I guess it's around 8:30, 9 o'clock, and then I remembered that I hadn't called my mom back, and I was like, "Man, it's late, man. I'll call her tomorrow." And then I remember she said, "Make sure you call me back." And it's because she said that I said, "Well, let me go ahead and call her back," because she said it like that, right? So I called her back, and we had a good little conversation. Just I did deposit check, just kind of reiterate that, and we was talking, just chit chat like we normally do. And I said, "You want to talk to your grandson?" I hear him in the room. I think he's still up. And she said, "Yeah, let me talk to my grandson." I said, "Well, he don't really like talking on the phone, right?" She said, "I know, but let me talk to him." So I take the phone into my son's bedroom, right? And I give him the phone. I said, "Chris, my mom's on the phone." So he grabs the phone and he starts talking. Now, I thought he would just, say a couple words, or just hunt what, little hem and haw like he usually do, and hang up. But he was just all engrossed in this conversation. So I left, went to use the bathroom or something, right? Come back, and man is leaning all back, feet crossed, and just chatting away with his mama. And he has absolutely never done that, right? So I said, "Well, this conversation was going on. I said, "Man, give me my phone." So I got the phone, and I told mom, I said, "Mom, you ought to see this little dude." He's all leaned back. I said, "He could go forever, man." I said, "He ain't never done that before." She's like, "He love his mama." I said, "I guess he does." I said, "But he needs to go and get some sleep because, he got school early in the morning." And so we said our goodbyes, and I said, "I'll talk to you tomorrow," right? She said, "Okay," right? So little did I know that that was going to be the last time I talked to my mother. And but the way she said, "Call me back," is almost like she knew, and the way her and my son were talking, it's like it's like he knew somehow. But yeah, September 2nd, 2009 was the last time I spoke to my mom, who sadly passed away the next morning. But yeah, love you, mama, always and forever.